Yeah, it's the co-op's been a lot of fun, and we got a lot of new co-op stuff coming out this week. We got again the new map Missed Opportunities. We also have further the new commander of Alarak. I'm really looking forward to playing a lot of the new co-op stuff, and grinding on Alarak means playing a lot of games. I may end up streaming those depending on what our downtime looks like this coming week, but we should be casting something pretty much every day. We got WSG qualifiers as well as our own stuff. Should be good times.
Yeah, we're actually off tomorrow. Isn't that weird?
That sounds like the perfect time to play either a lot of WoW or co-op.
Yeah.
Finally finished my Overwatch placement matches, by the way.
Cool.
Landed in Platinum. Not too bad. Although, those who were watching my stream know that my alt account landed in Gold. I grinded that up to Platinum in like 3 wins. That was really easy. But man, solo queue is so fucking bad. Zombie Grub. Oh my god, solo queue is so bad.
I didn't have that terrible of a time, to be honest.
Like, if anyone here has ever thought they've seen me mad or passionate on a stream before, you have not until you've seen me play solo queue Overwatch. Oh my god, I got so fucking pissed off. Jesus.
Yeah.
And as they said, no break, but apparently we're still waiting, so I don't know what's going on here.
I don't know either. But thank you to Wisecracks for the 10-month resub. Drinks on me at BlizzCon. Thank you. I will take you up on that offer.
Drinks Dragon Ball on him is what I heard. He also had some nice things to say about us on Twitter, which is always cool to see. I have no idea what they're typing. Okay, well, whatever it was resulted in the game getting started. So, gonna hop into game 1 of the other semifinals. So, a brand new best of 3 featuring chankim versus ByuN. That's a cool portrait ByuN's got. Wonder what's up with that.
I feel like ByuN just called chankim a noob. I'm not 100% sure. Because he typed something that I think means noob, and then chankim did like little like crying emote.
Well, we'll find out shortly whether he is or not. In the bottom left side of the map, playing for Exile 5, ladies and gentlemen, it is the Green Zerg player, the underdog, chankim.
In the top left, as the Red Terran, he is ByuN. ByuN.
Well, I think a lot of us expect ByuN to take this series. I think for more reasons than just simply his Olimoleague performance. It does extend outwards beyond that, but man, his Olimoleague performance has been good. Back-to-back monthly medals, constantly winning these weekly cups. I mean, I really want there to be somebody good enough to challenge ByuN, but it really, aside from reality and the odd Protoss game that ByuN's lost, guy looks untouchable, seriously.
ByuN has fixed a lot of the issues that we saw, too, a couple weeks ago. So, his TVP looked questionable against, like, Billowy, for instance, and clearly that's not really a problem for him anymore. Has been for the last week or two in the Olimoleague, and then, of course, he beat SOS, so that's not a problem. His TVT, we brought up, reality before he lost, it can be contested, but even that lately, like, the one problem he had was in his engagements, his Marine tank engagements, and I think that's been fixed as well. His games versus Ryung in the GSO are very convincing. So, combination of finding out his weaknesses in the Olimoleague and perfecting them for his main event runs, I don't know. It's really worked out to create what is probably going to be the best version of ByuN we'll ever see. I mean, I hope not. Like, I hope that he's even better come BlizzCon and absolutely, like, dominates, and that would be flippin' awesome. But it'd be really hard to be better than ByuN right now, to be honest. Like, it seems like he has all of his matchups on lockdown.
And the problem is there's no secret contender that's been, like, the hidden talent waiting to come out of the woodworks and shut him down. Like, straight up, the best players are struggling to fight him. And unfortunately, like, the best the underdog scene has to offer are players like, for example, Natural and such. And Natural got 2-0'd by him leading into this. People like Neeb as well, even. Like, it's hard to call him an underdog. I'm really curious to see how that Showcraft match goes, lined up to have him versus ByuN as that first one.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think he'll have as good of a run as Innovation. I just don't know what it is about Innovation. He just stays so, like he's like concrete when he's good, ByuN can be a little wishy-washy with his emotions, but
it's shitty because he ended up being a terrible human being and all that, but I would have loved to have seen Life at his prime versus, like, ByuN at his prime. I think that would have been a great matchup.
Actually, I think that's, yes, that would have been really cool. Seeing Maru versus ByuN would be really awesome. They both really are at their top level, just unfortunately Maru only Pro League.
Well, it's not only that, but Maru's also a lot more wishy-washy than ByuN. ByuN has pretty consistent online and offline performances.
Oh
Maru
yeah,
is
I
like
forgot about that.
Maru's like a different person depending where he is.
That's true. Yeah. Anyway, I don't mean to oversell ByuN. I'm sure you either know that he's that good.
I don't think you
or
can. Like it's just facts at this point.
Or you're not gonna believe anyone when they tell him you're that good. But just like for me, it's not even about loving the guy and be thankful that he's always participating and whatnot. Can't believe he lost that Reaper. Although I can actually. That's one thing he's never been very good about.
You know what's gonna happen actually, right? This happened with Polt. This happened with Hyun. This happened with everybody. This happened with Solar as well. We love a player. He becomes the heart and soul of like the people we cheer for on BaseTradeTV, and then they get so good they basically are out of our reach. They just they fuck off and do like nothing or just do Pro League.
We thought that was gonna happen when ByuN got second place at that Chinese tournament in the beginning of the year, and he kept on coming back.
What's interesting, because Leafing Cup definitely drew some people away.
No, not Leafing Cup.
No, but I'm saying like it did draw people away as well. Like others, like we stopped seeing Gumio's attendance as well as like a lot of the MVP guys because they were playing in it. But for a moment, I was gonna say, I know a lot of people have been speculating, especially with the GSL win, like what's gonna happen with ByuN? Is he gonna stay teamless? Is he gonna try and find a team? I know that we had entertained this funny idea a little while ago, saying like, could we like faux sponsor ByuN? Like, would that be within our price range? And it wasn't, unfortunately. But when I spoke to him, he also basically said like, no team wants him. Not that he didn't want a team, but no team wants him. So I am wondering if this is some sort of dynamic where just like he is better off on his own for a lot of different reasons.
I would think a personal sponsorship would be the greatest, but I don't think I've ever heard of those really existing in Korea.
Well, and unfortunately, with the way Blizzard cut ties to Korea for the foreign world, there's no reason for things like Rocket, which had sponsored Hyun in the past, to reach out to the Korean players. Yeah. I would love to see Red Bull. I know Red Bull has like a Korean division, but even then, I don't think that's going to be something we'll see anytime soon.
Does it?
Yeah, because if you remember Bomber and
it used to
Life at the time. I can't remember.
Yeah, Bomber and Life, and even no, I don't think Party ever did. But yeah, they used to. I don't think they've had it since Life.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. Regardless, it's unlikely ByuN will pick something like that up. But it would be certainly cool. I mean, ByuN's this guy who at this point I just want the best for him, man. Even if we can't give it to him, you know, that's sort of the logic. Like,
we love you that much. The draw commences. This is really what I was going up to, is watching the builds unfold. And
nice
chankim actually has a pretty nice defense.
But here's the problem. He may have gotten the medevacs, but he lost all the links in the process. So these Marines could run all the way around the map and go, oh, he's going to get Overlord on the way out too? Ain't nothing but a thing.
I would say that in the grand scheme of things, that's a little bit worse for ByuN. But chankim, first of all, didn't start droning immediately after that. He was a little worried and we needed more links, right? And he did start his lair, I would say, a little bit later. So I think that doesn't really matter for ByuN. He traded with the Lings. He thought that was really good. He even gets away with a couple of the Marines, which is really bizarre. But usually you don't want to lose both medevacs, as you do want to continue pressuring. ByuN has a 2 base pressure on the way.
I love that these guys got out alive.
Yeah, right? And chankim does have to get to that really comfortable point of like 60 plus drones first before taking on the next stage. I mean, ByuN's going to be pushing with 2 tanks really early on, but it's certainly enough.
I had never been zoomed in on combat shields finishing before. That looks so weird. They just like straight up grew out of the arms. Like they just sprouted out of their arms. Like they had them the whole time. Shrinky dink water pills. Apply water. Boom. Instant combat shields. If he gets this Baneling Nest, that's going to be massive. They'll take a pretty good fight, though. The tanks are well guarded. He does focus down those medevacs, but the cost of everything below the ground, I mean, this looks like an okay fight for chankim, but it's not.
Well, he can't use his money right now. That's a big problem. He didn't have the Lings to stop this from getting so close to his base. Another problem.
And the Baneling is gone.
He was coming in,
he's dead.
5 Lings at a time without the upgrades. If he didn't be able to bulk up at any point, I think that ByuN gets pushed back.
Maybe. I mean, this for ByuN, you got to consider like normally this ends up being a lot more about workers and getting to the mineral lines and cutting those down, but like he's just culling the army at every step.
This should be enough now.
Yeah, but is breaking this enough? Because like ByuN's gonna have like 4 more medevacs coming across the map in a moment. We saw what 2 medevacs worth of units could do.
He just needs At any point, like, Banelings would have been very helpful at any point in this game, but like having them nice a mass amount of lings also would have been very helpful. But at one point, he couldn't spend his minerals. Another point, he was just his reinforcements were being cut off by the tank positioning. So I think this follow-up should kill chankim.
Yeah, I mean, ByuN didn't have 1-1 going for him either. Now he will. Let's finish up in here in 10 seconds.
He could get the tank. ByuN goes for the
I don't know.
drone.
The tank is like a nice pick off, but the Marine's going to focus the layer down for it, so it's kind of like, all right, I'll trade that out. Banelings finally finish up too. We should see some focus fire out of ByuN. Nicely done. Picks up.
Oh.
Loses the medevac with all the Marines in it though. Whoa!
Nice.
chankim finally gets a lucky break.
Yeah. I think this is a combination of chankim just barely not having like precise enough macro, plus the damage took early on from the drops, plus ByuN thinking he can push the issue, I would say. Like thinking like, oh, I'm just going to win.
I agree, but I really like that he didn't focus so much into turning that into an all-in, right? Like, he did get the third CC down. He did get his upgrades rolling. He's got a follow-up to this. And I guess, funny, when it comes to supplies and the upgrades right now, it's just kind of evened out a bit. The resources lost, even it's the same thing, but I feel like with how pushed back Baneling's speed was, the fact that there's not many lanes to turn into Banelings still being a part of the issue, ByuN is in such a good spot.
I do wonder, like, we'll see how the game unfolds. Chankim's getting the hive pretty quickly, and he'll probably be killed before he gets to Ultralisks, but that is his main goal. His creep speed isn't really all that far out, and while ByuN doesn't have the super massive main push, his control is usually pretty good, you know, so he may not need a super massive push to do a lot of damage. I don't think ByuN knows about the fourth base. No, he does not. And that's something that chankim's getting some mining off of for free.
Yeah, but he is denying mining over here at the third, so it's pretty good. Baneling's going to roll in. Widowmines get those burrows. They just picks up, and that should annihilate. Get some decent hits. Not great hits with those Widowmines, but good enough.
That one of the lings is pretty damn good. Not quite on top of the Marines as quick as possible, but still enough. And do recall that these units have 2-2 upgrades to ByuN's 1-1. It's actually going to be stuck at 1-1 for some time, apparently. He has the armory. He has double engineering bays. He's just not investing into it. He's not banking enough to invest into it. And his army supply is 50 above that of chankim, and there's no more creep spread to rely on. There is barely any. Ultras, I'm not sure going to be able to save chankim. He's not in that comfortable position.
Big fucking Lupa right now in chat. I agree. Ultras are also not something he can really afford. Like, he goes for Chitinous Plating, but look at that. He's got no minerals. He can't even build one Ultra. Like, I like the prioritizing of the Chitinous Plating. Let's be honest. Ultras would be garbage without it, but that being said, if you've got no Ultras to benefit from that Chitinous Plating, then it also serves you no purpose. He does manage to take a decent dogfight versus ByuN, but that supply count still remains insanely ByuN favored. He knocks down a hatchery while this goes on as well, and this just... There's going to be one Ultra that might be unkillable out, but it will eventually get kited down.
Oh, a lot of that fight had to do with the fact that he had better upgrades, because so many of the units were low health. It was like the last amount of lings that were getting the last kills, last hits and everything.
Yeah.
The importance of upgrades, but yeah, losing that fourth base was probably worth that trade anyway. And it was a trade that still favored ByuN, regardless of the drop or not. But certainly because of the drop, this is still ByuN's game. Queen's gonna take care of the Liberators, so the Ultras don't have to care about that. I mean, chankim is barely holding on. Like, really a lot of kudos to him. And if you get, like, one decent link counterattack, if he could actually get a fourth base that is not ever attacked, it could happen.
This is ByuN's main, by the way. That explains the small gap in production, but money, money, money aside for a moment. We actually have Ultras coming out. We actually have a decent number. +3 is coming. Yeah, plating's complete.
ByuN is in a questionable position right now. This is, I feel like I haven't seen this ByuN or this Terran in a long time. The one that all ends on 3 bases and actually faces the Ultralisk. But this situation that Zergs found themselves in a lot of the times early on in Legacy of the Void, where they would lose their thirds even, but especially their fourths. But if they got to Ultralisk, they would never lose their armies, so they just would eventually be able to replace everything.
Well, I think one of the aspects of this too is ByuN is I mean, you mentioned like we haven't seen this kind of guy. Like, he's going for Liberators, he's focusing on Widowmines. These are units that can help deal with the Ultras, but ultimately ByuN is like untouchable when he gets Ghosts. So it's a little bit interesting to see him like, you know, throw on a second starport instead of going for Ghosts.
Well, there wasn't a Spire in play, so they would have maybe been able to just continue living far beyond what they should have. But now that there is a Spire in play, then Liberators are going to be back to that kind of questionable, like, why not Ghosts? There's 4 times Liberators. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of Liberators. They're going to do a lot of damage before they go down, but they also could be sniped by a couple of Corruptors. Chankim should have probably double expanded even, I would say.
Yeah, make up for the lost time.
But he's got to be... The worst thing about what Chankim is at right now is that he could be pulled apart. He really has to rely on having his Ultralisk all defending against drops.
Yeah, I didn't realize that he wasn't able to get full 200 supply. He actually needs to build Overlord still, which is a problem considering all the money he has to spend on Ultralisk and Thinglings and whatnot. So this might just be a numbers game. As good as Ultras are and as cost effective as they can be, he just might. He literally won't have the numbers to bolster them.
He also doesn't have his preppers yet. So.
Any attempt to take bases down here shut down by the drop walking in. I mean, that's ByuN for you, always attacking in multiple locations. This setup in the middle of the map is so good. And as we can see, like, Marauders don't have a problem dealing with Ultras if they don't have Lings supporting them. Ultras are really scary units, but not on their own. Not solo. Not running through Liberators and Widow Mines like this. Oh, no.
This do so poorly, but all the Queens run through, too.
Yeah, well, just picks up. There's not support left. He's just going to push right above, beyond, and load into that Liberation Zone. These guys, you have to kite around. There's not a planetary to fall back to. But they should be able to kite this.
Yeah.
This, by the way, killed 18 workers down here while this went on.
It's his best bet. Try, damn you. Aw, those bad Liberators. Well, this is actually a very impressive game, I want to say, from Chankim. Like, he put up a hell of more of a fight than I thought. And some of that was probably ByuN's overconfidence, but it also was just like, actually taking these engagements, keeping his cool for the most part while everything was going sideways. He, like, getting his upgrades. Oh,
he tried to trap the Ultras with the Mules so they could get him with the Liberators. That was so cool! GG! The only other person I've seen do that was Ryung versus Snoot, if you remember, from the Ting semifinals.
That was neato.
That was so cool. Somebody clip that. That was so cool. All right, so that's the game. The game still goes in the favor of ByuN, but Chankim certainly impressed me a lot. This was the guy who came into the bracket today as a bit of a no-name. Didn't know how he'd do versus Stork. He didn't have a big bracket to get here. But even though he lost that first game, that was a better fight than we've seen from better Zerg players than Chankim. And the argument could certainly be made, like, ByuN was reaching way too deep and way too hard, and you know, it was not the perfect game from ByuN, but that was still a good game out of Chankim.
Yes, it was. I don't know if he can replicate it. That's I think ByuN will be a little more conservative with his pushes. Not try to end the game as quickly as he did last time.
By the way, I know Zombrib doesn't mind, but I would like to apologize to her because I've been unfortunately missing a couple of mutes to the streams. You guys have been hearing my cough, and I've been coughing a lot this cast. I don't know. My throat is bugging the crap out of me. But that being said, Apotheosis, no map mod. God damn it. At least use the WCS one. Come on.
Chankim hosted. Consistency of hosts is unideal. Sometimes Olivia makes, sometimes I make, sometimes the Korean casters make.
I just wish that after, like, backing up for a second here, going a slightly different topic. After what is almost, I want to say 9 months of us using this graph mod, by the way, I wish Blizzard would just recognize that it's okay. It doesn't break anything, and it only enhances.
Never. Little do we know that every single game we've ever cast with that mod, drones mine 0.00001% faster.
You know, I'm okay with that. Zerg needs a buff right now, am I right?
Oh, you.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Spun here on the bottom right side of the map. He is impressing the crap out of us. It is going to be the underdog player, the green Zerg Chankim.
The top left as the red Terran, he is ByuN.
Oh, I just pressed a combination of keys on my keyboard I've never done before. Apparently Windows key tab makes your windows go really weird. I hope that didn't affect the stream at all.
Like, what?
Just hold Windows key and tab. Like, it doesn't close anything. It just Your window's like, it's like you zoom back, you zoomed out. You went like this, but with your desktop.
Oh, I disabled my Windows key in StarCraft.
Ah, why aren't you just clever?
Hey, why don't you?
Well, okay, tab out and hit Windows key and tab. I think it'll do the same effect.
Yeah, I've seen this before.
That's cool. I didn't know. That's the thing. Can you just click on the window you want? Oh, you can.
Yeah, yeah. It's like what you do on your phone, right?
You
Makes sense that it'd be available on your computer. Yeah, like when you hit the when you have to close all your apps, you know, and you hit that button that brings up all the screens, so you can go from one screen to the other.
Wait a minute. You can click Windows on that? I just use that to close everything.
Well, or you could close everything, but yeah, you can click Windows too to like multitask.
Oh my god, this is changing my outlook on life in so many different ways.
When I learned, I also I feel like I should be able to use this, but I never will. But the fact that you can open up 2 programs and phones now, side to side, and use them.
Oh, split screen I've used before. Yeah, that's nothing crazy. But I didn't know you could actually scroll back through that and like open up past windows. Like if you had to like reach back to your alarm clock or something. I've seen that tab up there. I just never thought to click it. I always just close everything. Neat! Anyways, my ineptitude with phones aside, there's the Reaper coming across the map. And I think already a nice scout is the fact that there's not a gold taken.
Sure, yeah. It's pretty dangerous to do against Terran because of the Reaper, but yeah, I guess we've seen it before. ByuN does usually go for the 2-1-1 on this map, which is exactly what he's doing again here, so not too surprising. chankim, certainly good map to choose after losing a game. Frost, vertical spawn, that's what it was, yeah. Almost killed him with those tanks, but also, in a couple of different cases, you know, led to the decent amount of time to barely hold on. Apotheosis can do the same thing, and even better, actually. Like Frost cross spawn. There are certainly a couple of moments where even though he barely held on, an extra 10 seconds would have meant that chankim would have had like faster ultras, he would have been able to save his 4th base. That's something that's going to be easier to get on this map too.
I'm sure I can't be the first person to make this pun, this ByuN, but has anyone called him a ByuN before?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought I was being clever on Twitter. Never mind. It's like you think you invented the telephone, but you're like, oh, no. 4 other people did. Oops. That's actually, I wonder with early inventions. So there's some very defining inventions in real life that are like, without question, somebody invented this first. But I do wonder how many instances of like gunpowder were invented in different parts of the world simultaneously, right? Like,
oh, those are pretty well documented. I mean, even the creator of the telephone didn't actually create the telephone.
Yeah, well, no, but what I'm saying is, like, I wonder for things like when the first person comes up with the term ByuN, how many other people had that exact same thought at that same time, right?
A lot.
Yeah,
it's the person that gets most popular.
Yeah, that's my point. Oh yeah,
well,
do you know, by the way,
what's the end point to your point? It happens.
Hang on, ADD. Alexander Graham Bell allegedly invented the phone, whatever. Do you know what he actually tried to make as this is like a fun fact thing, like what you say when you pick up the phone? Like, you know how we say hello?
Sure.
Do you know what he wanted you to say?
No.
Ahoy.
Oh, I did not know that.
I think that was so much cooler than hello.
It doesn't make any sense, though. Why would you change a regular English greeting because you pick up the phone?
Because hello wasn't a regular English greeting at the time.
Well, what was? It wasn't ahoy or...
No, there wasn't an established, like, conventional, like when you see somebody, you say hello.
I don't believe that.
Okay, I wrote a paper on it, but you know, whatever. No big deal.
Okay. I once wrote a paper that... Nope, never mind.
Double medevac drop coming across to deal with some of this gold base, but there's 6 queens out, excuse me, and last game, chankim did a great job of sniping off the medevacs. I can only imagine it's going to happen again, but ByuN tries to bait him off a creep this time. Oh, hello, Awkward Reaper. Not so Awkward Reaper gets a really nice grenade.
Yeah, that was pretty nice. This is a big difference I feel from ByuN last game to this game, right? Is that he's probably taking chankim a bit more seriously. I doubt they recognize that they've played each other on ladder if they even have. So he really probably went into that match thinking like, oh, I'll just win easy peasy. Especially considering chankim's bracket run wasn't that impressive. So the fact that ByuN saved his medevac to save his units, whereas last time he just gave them all away, which he does here, well, not quite the last medevac, I feel already says something. So So that's the third medevac, and that was the third set of units. But he does save it. Takes a very long, drawn-out trade with Lings.
What am I managed to live? Let's see if that gets a lucky hit or not. Looks like chankim is aware that it's there, so baits out the one hit. Nicely done. Do you think that third CC goes straight to the gold?
Yes, I guess. Sure. Chan Kim takes his fourth base, and this is, I brought it up earlier, like, this is another problem of the Frost map. Besides always being on the back foot, he also just would have had trouble getting a fourth base no matter what. In location, he took it anyway. And here, it is going to be a little bit safer, easier to get to.
You know, I totally forgot. You bring that up now, it just dawns on me. I forgot that whole game was played with chankim having his Baneliness typed off, like, really early, and that's how still decently he played that last game. This time around, he's actually going to get speed at what looks to be an appropriate timing. I wonder how much that changes up the early game fights.
Yeah. Last game he had much faster upgrades though, so give and take, I suppose. Now they're pretty well synced up with ByuN's.
Reaper's not going to get much. Scans just get some of these tumors as he does stim into the mineral lines. If he gets those mineral lines, it'll be really hard to clean up the Marines, but unfortunately doesn't quite get the block he was looking for. Bailey's going to roll on. He trades out really well with the Lings, but he's got to pick up and get out of there. Meanwhile, other side of the map is hoping to catch some SCVs, but ByuN hasn't transferred it yet. His macro isn't that good, you silly Billy.
Oh, feels so bad. That
He still
would've
has
been so
3,
good.
though.
Oh, hey, still might work out. Well, Hive's on the way for Chan Kim, and ByuN, if he's gonna push before Ultralisk are ready, I think he's got like a minute more to hold on. I'm not sure he'll be able to push with 2-2 before Ultras are ready.
Ooh, there's 2 Liberators set up.
Get a lot of damage done.
Yeah, well, goes over to the gold, goes over to the main. The whole army now focused towards this third, however, and if he pulls back for even a moment, those Marines can get some serious damage done. Spore Crawlers are starting up. This is a good response out of chankim, but unfortunately, we'll lose that gold income for the time being. Oh, pickup.
Yeah, that's pretty important. The Banelings did roll into ByuN's third base, it looks like. Didn't I get like 7 SCVs, I want to say? So, not bad from Chan Kim. Not devastating either.
Marines have to pick up again. ByuN just constantly diving in, and I'm not sure if this is something where he wants kills or if he's just saying, look over here while I push over here, because, well, earlier was just simply a Liberator for some side harass. This is a considerable amount of units.
Yeah,
and of course, there's still this medevac ready to go back in if he gets the opportunity. It looks like it will, so unfortunately, while there's a good fight, possibly even going for chankim over here, ByuN picks up in both the medevacs. He'll boost on over to the main with that. Marines unload here towards the third. Drones have to start getting pulled away. chankim in the middle of the map. Not sure where he wants to go with these links. Some come back home. Some go across the map. He wants to get some damage done and pay ByuN back, but unfortunately, that's going to cost him. Queens of the main getting no transfuses. There we go. Gets the transfuse. Still gets picked off. Drones at the third still haven't been cleaned up. Or the drop at the third season. He still hasn't got it cleaned up. As the Lings are just being picked apart. Bailey's run to the main, clean that up. Big attack over here, but Widow Mines will take out most of the Lings. Marines have no problem dealing with what's left, and this ends up being a not-so-great fight for Chan Kim.
Oh, he took a lot of damage within the span of like 30 seconds. A lot of things went down right there. Now, ByuN did give away a good chunk of his army, but still at double plus the supply of Chan Kim. Ultralisk, he'll be able to get like 3, I guess, plus chitinous plating. That's a decent amount. The army of ByuN is already on his doorstep. It just got some creep to go through. And I'm not sure Chan Kim has any Banelings to defend with. Yeah, he's making them now. It's probably just be in time.
I mean, the tactics from Chan Kim and the idea of getting aggressive because he's taking damage isn't bad, but unfortunately, sacrificing so much to do so is not what worked out.
Oh, he got a lot more than 3 ultras. He had 6, but not chitinous plating.
And that's the problem. Like, chitinous plating starts now, but Marauders can focus this. Hell, Marines can focus those down. It's always weird watching Marines actually deal damage to ultras. We're setting up here for a second attack. He wants to bait some of these Widowmine hits. It's not a bad idea. This Bailey's waiting to go, and I like that he's keeping these reserved in the back, but giving up a base potentially in the process. Drop over here, going to also push back those drones once again, and Chan Kim feeling the burn of ByuN's multi-pronged attacks.
Yeah. If he could save one of these bases, of course, preferably both, he would be okay.
That's a lot of Widow Mines.
Ultras could get plating.
That is
but
a
they're
lot
running
of
it
Widow
without it.
Mines.
Yes, it is. A couple of them all. There we go. And some nice shots of the Ultras, but transfuses were there. And ByuN is pushed back without killing the bases and without letting chankim getting below 50 drones. So that's actually recoverable for chankim.
And it's unfortunate he loses all those Widow Mines. I think he had an opportunity to walk this away, actually.
Yeah. This is still kind of scary for ByuN, I would say. Now, ByuN's on 4 bases. He's got a... Oh, he's making his 4th right now. My bad. And he's getting to 3-3. Of course, chankim already on +3 carapace is pretty damn good. Oh, yeah, I kind of forgot about this base. chankim's on 5 bases. Well, 4. I was right. Take it all back. Whatever. But still, 4 bases and 55 drones is not so bad. Still with an Ultralist army that is now well upgraded. ByuN does have to go to those Liberators. A chankim needs to just deal with everything so he can finally take a breath. Take a breath, get a Spire, get Corruptors that he was missing in the last game. But he has an opportunity on Apotheosis especially. If he can get some creeps right out there, where just it'll be too long of a path for ByuN.
I really want to
follow up.
I just want to stress, like, ByuN has not given chankim room to breathe, but he's still gotten to this point in the game. Like, this has been non-stop aggression since the first attack. And I'm really impressed that chankim got to a point where he has an army that is commendable.
I really like that he pushed out. He also could have just tried to recover, build more drones, get his base back, but...
The problem is that there's not enough support for these Ultras. If these had links with them, fungal growth, some extra element, they might be able to take a fight, but Ultras alone aren't going to cut it. And that's disregarding the Liberator.
Right, yeah. There's a chance that there's only 1 or 2 Liberators, and the bio would have run out of space to maneuver if you catch them on their side of the map. Yeah, right? But it didn't happen. But that's the good thing, is that ByuN really couldn't follow the Ultras anyway, so they do escape, and they're going to be able to defend now. That 5th base, the 4th base, whatever. And he's at 61 drones. But he is missing some crucial tech. Addition to the Ultralists, whether it's Lings, Bailings, or Infestors, Corruptors deal with the Liberators. It's a very similar game to last, I would say. Or chankim, he has like a bunch of opportunities to maybe bring it back, especially as ByuN overcommits and whatnot, but he is still missing some crucial elements.
Just one Marine in the backside. You're gonna actually bring all the Ultras towards it. Are you serious? It's like his bait, man. Liberator's actually not in such an ideal spot. They might want to set up elsewhere. I'm not sure what they're meant to hit with that. Drop on the bottom left side too while this goes on. So Simon once again going to go for that drone line. Attack on the front lines. Ultras are going to chew away at the Marines pretty much for freezies. We do have a lot of Widow Mines set up from the backside. Widow Mines will pierce the armor of the Ultralists.
Yeah. It seems to be just too much. Like, he almost cleans up the bio army on the ground, but
then
Widow Mines Liberators left over. Yep, still dropping over here.
Gets the base kill. That's game. GG. Oh boy, we're going to have a fun ByuN finals. Can't wait to mess up these names a bunch.
Hey.
Hey. Once again, though, shoutouts to chankim. Through his series versus Stork and even losing versus ByuN really impressed me. Name on the radar, to be absolutely for certain.
Yeah.
But, that will probably send us into a break. I don't know if it'll be a long one or a short one, but we are going to a break because they will need time to set up. So ByuN versus hyun in these grand finals will be a best of 5. I think this will be pretty good. So that being said, shout out to whoever just pledged to the Olimoleague, up to $5.45 per weekly now. That's pretty nice. The next goal, by the way, is $550 per week. So if a couple of you lovely folks are feeling generous, $1 or $2 could go a long way, as they are very close to reaching their next weekly goal. Literally $5 per week away. So consider checking out the Patreon, guys. Patreon.com/Olimoleague. That being said, though, like we said, break time. They're saying 5 to 10 minutes. Hopefully it won't be that long, but we'll see you guys soon.